Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of With All Due Respect. We are your hosts. I'm Ryan Shead, that's Marcus Flowers. Brother, how are you doing?
Man, it's been a crazy week, let me tell you.
Tell you.
So hard to say how I'm doing right now, but
let me know at the end of the episode.
I'll let you know. I can get through all of this. You'll probably be able to tell how I'm doing.
Yeah, both of us. So we'll see which one of us ends up being good cop, bad cop today. But let's start with where I think a lot of our minds are today, which is thinking about Rob Reiner, his wife, and particularly he has some younger kids. You know, his daughter's 27, his youngest, I believe. So, yeah, man, what was your reaction to this? I know you don't spend as much time on social media as I do to see, that back and forth, but just from your perspective.
Yeah, man, when I caught the news, as it was coming out, I was getting the alerts, and it was like, there's a death at a property associated with Rob Reiner, and I'm thinking, maybe, hoping anyway that,
Yeah, there's no way. I don't think there was any way for us to predict what had actually happened. I told Jen, I was like, I just can't imagine my own child turning a weapon on me. Like, I can't even imagine what that would be like.
No, when I got to that part about it, when it was like, okay, it was
once
Rob
we knew,
and I was hearing, and I was thinking, could this be rumor mill stuff that his son had something to do with it? And when the news all hit, I mean, that was tough, man. I mean,
and then
someone who was born in the 70s, kind of grew up in the 80s and 90s. I mean, Rob Reiner movies, that was kind of our thing. Like, for me, it was like Stand By Me, A Few Good Men. I mean, that was that was
The American President was one of my favorites.
Yeah, The American President. I was already in the military at that time.
Yeah,
but like when A Few Good Men came out just before I went into the military, and it was kind of like one of those movies where I was like, man, almost made me become a Marine instead of a soldier. But didn't quite do the job. But Stand By Me, one of those movies that you kind of grew up, because that's kind of how we were back in those days. We get out and go. But The American President was definitely a big one. Misery. I mean, come on, man.
Did he do Misery?
He did Misery.
I did not realize he did Misery. See, for me, for some reason, I think of him. I think of like funny Arnold movies, like, that kind of stuff. But I forget he did do a couple of thrillers. Yeah. But, for me, it opened up a whole different conversation, once we got all the context behind it, and again, his 27-year-old daughter's one that found him. And then she basically dude, I can't imagine. She ran out of the house, and it wasn't until the paramedics told her that her mother was gone too. Mm-hmm. And so it opens up the mental health conversation. It opens up the addiction conversation. I guess the son had a long list of addiction issues, mental health issues. So which
in and out of rehab.
Yeah. So of course those things all, I'm sure, played a part in this, and which is unfortunate. But for me, just from a mental health part, it's like that's why we need to pay attention to this crap. We can't keep the stigma going. So what I'm seeing is, instead of people going, man, maybe we need to revisit providing mental health care to people.
Well,
Instead of that, it's a blame game of why this happened. And one of the biggest people playing the blame game was none other than the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, I mean,
it said that this is the tweet that I'm about to read. This is what he put out as the response to Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle being murdered by their son. So this is all quotation for those of you listening to the audio. I'm reading it direct. A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness, and with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace.
You know,
the president, everybody.
This is the president of the United States. You know, he could have left that tweet, or I'm not even going to use the word truth to describe what the hell this is, but he could have left it at a very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood.
May Rob and Michelle rest in peace. Everything else could have been left out.
Everything else is bullshit.
Pretty much, yeah.
Total bullshit. And, you know, people are coming to his defense saying, oh, you know, he probably didn't even write that. Doesn't matter if he wrote it or not.
Yeah. You know,
doesn't matter. His staff
referring to yourself in the first person,
it's
too.
It's got his name on it.
Yep.
He takes ownership for it.
What's that? He's against AutoPen, right?
Yeah.
So if somebody's writing his tweets for him.
Exactly.
Just saying.
But he doubled down. He doubled down on it.
Yep. You
know,
they asked him about it, and he's like, yeah.
Had to make it about him. You know, this Trump derangement. You know,
can I just say,
he's the one who's deranged.
I tweeted this out earlier. If it were Barack Obama doing all of this stuff, he would have been impeached like 5 times already.
Oh, of course.
Like, I mean, he'd been impeached, convicted, removed, and never able to run for office again.
Absolutely.
But Donald Trump, for some reason, this dude like gets away with everything, and anything that doesn't go right, he just points the finger at somebody else, and everybody goes, yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. It is the most insane thing that I've ever seen. But I did get a little bit of hope yesterday, because somebody that I actually admire came out and said that he is walking away from his job because they support Donald Trump. And if you don't know what I'm talking about,
if you're not a fan of wrestling,
the wrestler, WWE wrestler Mick Foley, who's one of their legends, watched him growing up. He was one of the few wrestlers that I actually thought were good.
He's decent.
Yeah. And the one thing you can't say about Mick Foley is that he, isn't tough, or that he isn't a man's man, because every wrestler on that roster will tell you that dude's the real deal.
Yeah.
And for him to come,
looks it. He looks it.
Yeah, man.
A lot of them looked the part, but this guy, he looks like.
Well, I mean, he looked like whatever.
Real
yeah.
blower, I mean,
teeth missing. Yeah. So to see him come out. And I don't know if we have the, for me to read, but he put out a statement that basically is like, I'm done with WWE because they've made it clear that they're going to support Donald Trump, over the people and the fans and what's right versus wrong.
Yeah.
So, he said, I believe the tweet that I just read to you is the reason he cited for him walking away from the WWE is the president tweeting out things like that, and then there you go.
So what he said is, while I've been concerned about WWE's close relationship with Donald Trump for several months, especially in light of his administration's ongoing cruel and inhumane treatment of immigrants and pretty much anyone who looks like an immigrant. Reading the president's incredibly cruel comment in the wake of Rob Reiner's death is the final straw for me. That was that's what he put on Instagram.
Yep.
On
yesterday.
And
the caption, the top of it was very eye catching because it says something like I'm leave. It was all in caps, like I'm done with WWE or something like that.
But yeah, so, he also went on to say that I no longer wish to represent a company that coddles a man so seemingly void of compassion as he marches our country towards autocracy. Which, hey, God bless you, Mick. That's you know, I understand the job's a job, and you know the McMahon's relationship with Trump, with Linda McMahon being in the administration. You take a stand on principle. I admire that.
It's not even Linda McMahon. It's you know, they've got what's his name, Triple H, standing behind Trump just a few months ago.
Yeah,
you know, like you can.
I was a big fan of Triple H as well. You know, sat next to him on an airplane back from Oktoberfest to the States, and had a conversation with him. But
you know, it is what it is. But I always say that's why I'm never going to be rich, because I can't set aside my principles and my personal morals to do that. Like, if somebody said you can come meet Trump tomorrow, it'll be great for your publicity. No, I'm good. Like, I'll keep using my microphone from where I'm at. I don't need him, and you're not going to use me either, you know, to further his agenda. But before we move on from Mick Foley, I just want to prove a point that this is the one wrestling autograph that I actually have. And,
nice.
And it's he signed it twice. He messed the Cactus Jack one up, so he re-signed it underneath it. But I got the Funkos to go with them. So, like, I'm an actual fan.
No.
And he just proved once again why I am, because people like that are willing to do what's right for everybody, even if it's going to cost him personally, those are the people I want to support. Those are the people I respect.
It's about that integrity, man. I mean, it was one of the things, and I was being asked to come back into the federal government. It was because of a need, and you know, I used to like my old job, and it was my old supervisor, good friend of mine, was like, I could really use some help. What are you doing next year? I was like, you know, stuff and things. And he's like, you know, could you come back and help us out for a bit? I said, in a Trump administration, I did that the first time. It was bad enough that I left. I don't think I could do it again.
Nope.
Not even for a little while. So,
not even as a contractor.
You know.
Contracting was unstable enough as it was in terms of job security.
Yeah.
Like now, you know, they'll throw you. They'll come in on Christmas Eve and fire you. Like they don't care.
No,
speaking of not caring,
after that, you know, it was after that administration that I left federal government and came, and you know, I was a defense contractor once upon a time. You know, once they found out that, you know, I was going to run for Congress as a Democrat against that guy's people, they were like, look, we'd like you to sign non-disclosure agreements. So you know, we can't get tied in it. And it's that fear is real across the board.
Yeah.
Across the board, people have that fear, you know, and for me, it's never been about that. It's been about integrity. It's been about your character.
Yeah.
It's what you do when no one's looking. What you do when everything in your heart tells you, look, this is not the way to go.
Yep.
You do that anyway. You go that way when you know something's not right, but you go with it. It says a lot about a lot of people. And I think we're going to be talking about somebody who I feel knows better, feels one way in our heart, but yet does the wrong thing for political expediency, for, you know, the cameras, for a high position, for what comes next. And that's Susie Wiles.
Yeah.
Trump's chief of staff.
Yep. But we're going to talk about several people in Trump's cabinet today.
Yeah.
The one I want to start with is because we're talking about doing things the wrong way. So I thought bringing up Pete Hegseth and the strikes in the Caribbean would be a good place to start.
He's another one of those.
Yeah, man.
He's another one of those.
That's who I was thinking of as you're saying that. I was thinking of Hegseth.
Susie Wiles is his chief of staff, but Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, and I've watched him talk about, this is in the past before he was a part of the administration.
Yeah.
Not following illegal orders.
Yep.
Watch him talk about that.
Yep.
And telling soldiers they shouldn't and don't have to. Well, of course. You don't follow illegal orders. And now he's singing a whole different tune.
And the part of this that I want to remind people of, and this is me personally saying this, because I know some things I just don't want to get attributed to you. But I just want to remind everybody that I just lost what I was going to say because I want to make sure you didn't get in trouble for it. So, but let's put Pete Hegseth on here because there's going to be a bunch of people. Oh, now I remember. The Democratic Party signed the $900 billion defense budget bill. And when all the Democrats that needed to voted for it, I think it was over 150. Don't quote me, but it was quite a few. And they voted for it, and the biggest thing they got was, we're being promised that the Pentagon's gonna really take a good look at releasing that video. Yeah. Well, we got a response
to a select.
Let's take a look.
Go ahead.
It is the 22nd bipartisan briefing we've had on a highly successful mission to counter designated terrorist organizations, cartels, bringing weapons meaning drugs, to the American people and poisoning the American people for far too long. So we're proud of what we're doing, able to lay it out very directly to these senators and soon to the House. But it's all classified. We can't talk about it now. We're also going to tomorrow allow the HASC and SASC to see the unedited video of the September 2nd, alongside with Admiral Bradley, who has done a fantastic job, has made all the right calls, and we're glad he'll be there to do it. But in keeping with long-standing Department of War policy, Department of Defense policy, of course, we're not going to release a top secret, full unedited video of that to the general public. HASC and SASC and appropriate committees will see it, but not the general.
Well, let them decide if the public can see it.
Yeah, the only
the House Armed Services Committee and the Senate Armed Services Committee, for those of you who don't understand the acronyms, let them decide if the public can see it.
See,
yeah, they're going to go in a skiff. You've got part of the video airing on television already.
The only part he doesn't want you to see is the one that gets him in trouble.
The one that gets him in trouble, and
that tells you everything you need to know. Because
just his demeanor.
Yeah. By the way,
now,
dude,
he's a little deflated right now. He doesn't have his chest all bowed out like a cat with diarrhea anymore when he's talking about this stuff. He's a little deflated right now because he knows. He's
looking rough.
He knows.
He knows he messed up. And again, the whole reason that we're having this discussion is because one of the original people that they gave this order to said no. And went and and then another one, I believe, went and sought legal counsel after the fact because he realized what went down in that room because he was in there, that he could be liable for the crime that he witnessed in that room. Exactly. That's literally what started this.
Exactly.
So the military people that we keep telling you have the right to refuse unlawful orders, the dude took the order and then went and got legal counsel because he knew it was wrong. Now, granted, we can argue, should he have done it? But at least after the fact, he was like, oh shit, like I need to go make sure that I can cover my butt here because
somebody should have checked with legal before that second strike.
Fair. Like I said, we can have that discussion, but
if 40 minutes passed between that time.
Yeah. And again, if you think that a exploded boat that is flipped upside down that they can somehow turn it back over and scoop all the drugs back in and just paddle to whatever land is next. Because that's literally the reason that they're giving for the double tap.
That's ridiculous.
Like,
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying not to lose my shit. Like,
again, they're talking about interdiction. That's what they're talking about, but they're trying to make it sound like this was a good kill. It was justified.
Yep.
Because
Then
these are
show us.
narco terrorists that are threatening our country.
You know what video I saw? You know what video I've seen?
Which one is that?
The Osama bin Laden video.
You've seen that one?
You want to know why we've seen that video? If you've wanted to, you could go see it. The reason is because when you do something the right way and you accomplish something that you know Americans want to see done, you prove it. So it can go the other way. If you know that you have proof that you didn't do something that you're being accused of, I would want to release that shit publicly, especially if I was in that position or that high up on the food chain.
It's a whole other thing.
You know what I'm saying?
We're not comparing apples to apples with this.
Okay.
We're comparing apples to oranges because that was an actual war.
Fair.
That Congress
had approved. Yep.
Approved.
Fair. Yep.
And, there's no doubt, there was
a declaration. Yeah.
That was a kill mission. We weren't going to go and, and I'm sure they talked with, how they planned that operation for 4 or 5 months before.
And they didn't even let the country know. Yeah. Well, it was Afghanistan they went into, right?
It was Pakistan.
Pakistan. Sorry. Thank you. But they didn't let them know. They came in, did what they did, and sure
they didn't even let the Pakistani government know. But they had,
and they were pissed.
Yeah. So they had that.
And you know what? I remember what Obama's response was, of course, in a much more Obama way. But he was basically like, well, if you hadn't have been keeping them there, then it wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah. I mean, they made a little bit of noise, and then after the fact, the diplomats go in and they smooth things over.
Obama knew they weren't going to push it.
Yeah, but that's again, a war authorized by Congress.
Yeah.
This, when we have Coast Guard to do interdiction, it's not the same thing.
No.
You don't take an AC-130 gunship and just blow a boat out of the water.
No.
You suspect.
A lot of Americans don't understand rules of engagement.
Again, we talked about this last week. Them knowing what's on that boat.
Yeah.
I mean, they have surveillance on the ground in Venezuela.
Correct. Or, hear me out here, because there have been a lot of accounts out there that have proven that the photos that they released claiming that the blue bins or whatever they were on the boat were packages of drugs. Turns out that those are actually refueling boats and that's fuel in those things and that they go out and refuel all the other boats. Mm-hmm. So not a drug boat.
I'm going to stick with they've got human on the ground.
I think it's both. I think it's both. I mean, I'm definitely not challenging that. Like, we definitely have people on the ground there and people doing intel for sure. But I also think that either they're getting bad intel, which if you remember back in when we went into Iraq, bad intel. I think that they're hitting boats that aren't doing anything.
I mean, we're up to
or not doing what they claim that they're doing.
What is it? How many boats are we up to now?
I think they hit eight alone just the other day.
Recently, so. And we're up to 90 people dead. So.
Yeah, I know. Last I looked, it was 70. So, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me because I haven't checked in. I didn't check after the 8 boat strike, so that's probably
correct
right.
us if we're wrong.
Yeah,
on those numbers. We see you there, Mr. Kennedy.
So, speaking of, I've never talked too publicly about this, but I have a doctor in my life that I trust with my life. Like, he is the best doctor I've ever had. And we got on the topic of voting one day, and he told me he voted for Trump. And I was like, that was this is one of the most educated people in my life. I was like, why? And he's like, I'm tired of the wars. And I'm like, that's it? And I was like, he's like, yeah. And I was like,
Single issue voters.
and I'm like, that's fair. I was like, I think most of us are probably tired of the wars. I was like, as a veteran, I'm tired of the wars.
I haven't
But
spent a decade in combat zones. I was tired of war.
yeah, we're all tired of the wars, but you're overlooking a lot of other things here, And so when I went in the other day, as I'm walking out the door, I turned around and I just said, "Hey, Doc, how's that no war vote turned out for you?" He just looked at me and shook his head. He goes, "You were right." But it's just
at least he was, big enough to say,
"Oh yeah,
you were right."
Yeah, he didn't argue with me at all. It was like he's like, "Yeah, this is bad. This is
a lot
not
of times
what."
When you push Trump voters on things like that, how's that working out for you? How's that, and I'm not.
And we should.
I really don't want to get into the Charlie Kirk thing. I've wanted to do that to some of those people, but I'm not going to. You say, how's that working out when it's your side doing the thing that you said was all about Democrats doing? And yes, I'm a Democrat, so I hear this stuff all the time, and I have a lot of Republican friends who are Trump voters who, like to challenge me on these things. And I'm gracious most of the time. I don't really give it back to them a lot, but sometimes I want to. You can only take so much, but yeah, that's at least he was big enough to say that. I've seen people continue to push
double
back,
down,
continue
triple
to
down.
defend the indefensible.
Yep.
That's where we are, lately. So
speaking of, well, we're not going to talk about it a whole lot. I just wanted to say I look forward to seeing all of the Turning Point USA folks in Phoenix this weekend. I plan on being there, so please come see me, especially you, Kyle Rittenhouse, who I've enjoyed ratioing the shit out of. 177,000 likes to 27,000 likes, you piece of garbage. So you little murdering piece of shit, I'll be out there. Come see me. We can talk. We'll talk face to face, and you can tell me why you think beating women in a parking lot is okay. You can tell me why the judge didn't let the video in of you saying that you wished you had your AR so that you could shoot at black people that 2 weeks prior to when you actually showed up and started shooting at people. And then finally, I'd love you to tell me why you were the only coward that ended up shooting somebody that night.
All right.
So if you can come on out for Amfist, because you guys call it Amfest. I'm calling it Amfist because I'm pretty sure Grindr's going to go down while you all are here. So y'all have fun with that. But come out and see me. Look forward to it. And with that, I want to just keep going because the Secretary of War is doing a really good job of finding conflicts for us to get into. And I think it was either last episode or episode before we said that the whole thing with Venezuela was about oil.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it was clear as day, it was about oil. And since that episode, we have now seized an oil tanker. Now, the oil tanker, to my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, Marcus, this oil tanker did not have any drugs in it.
No.
It did not have any weapons being trafficked anywhere. So, to my knowledge, the only thing on this tanker was oil.
That's it.
And we flew helicopters in there, Navy SEAL style, and took that bitch. So why, Marcus, would we do something like that?
What's funny to me is they're bringing up all this sanction stuff after the fact.
Yeah.
Covering up crimes, obstruction of justice. Okay, so
yeah, videoing yourselves doing
really, guys.
Oh my God!
You want to go and you want to do regime change in Venezuela.
Yep.
To get oil.
Yep.
Because let's be honest, that's why he wants it.
Yep.
So that he can.
So they want to. He wants to get rid of Maduro.
Get the oil. Get rid of Maduro. It's never about drugs. I mean, because you just pardoned a guy from Honduras who was serving, what was it, 45
years. And then on top of it, I don't know if you saw this, Marcus. So Trump lets this dude out. Prolific drug trafficker, literally a day after they ended up shooting one of these drug boats. And when he goes back to his country, as soon as he gets off the plane, they arrest his ass.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, you let him go. That's fine. But we're still going to arrest him. It's like, oh, well, at least they can do the right thing because we sure as hell can't.
No, this administration can't.
Any felon signing, any pardon signed by a felon should be null and void automatically. Like, it shouldn't even be a question.
I don't disagree.
Because this is what you get when you elect felons and criminals. They pardon all their criminal friends. And if I was an 80, just let me ask this. Well, let me just put this to you. If I was an 80-year-old man with swollen ankles and heart disease that's well documented for at least the last 15 years, and I knew that I had no election to run for, and I was a criminal up to my eyeballs, and I had one of the most powerful positions in the world, what would I do with it? And I'm like, if I was a moralist, treasonous prick, I would do some evil shit because I wouldn't be worried about it. I'm 80 years old. Who gives a shit? I'll pardon my whole family. I'll make sure my 18-year-old son has got $150 million in crypto. Oops, did I say that?
Corruption, continue criming.
And pardon whoever you want. And
what he's doing.
I would be selling the pardons too.
Yeah. No,
he's probably doing that.
He did some of that in his first administration, I'm sure. So,
And the Vanity Fair interview, to me, just confirms a lot of these things that we say. So let me ask you, you mentioned it a little bit ago, but Trump's chief of staff was dropping some truth bombs. Susie Wiles, if you aren't watching your back, you should be.
I don't think she's worried. I don't think she's worried about it.
You know why? Because she knows where the bodies are buried. That's why.
Yeah, I don't think she's worried about it, brother. And she's one of those people. And look, I've done interviews. I haven't done long form interviews like that where it's over multiple sessions.
Yeah.
But I've had interviews where, maybe my words were taken out of context a little bit, but they were the right words or things that I said.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Same.
But this ain't that. Nope. This definitely ain't that. She said what she said. She meant it. She compared the guy to her father, who's an alcoholic. She said
she's seen it up close and personal.
With Maduro, it was about regime change.
Yep.
Elon, ketamine addict. That's pretty fucking funny. I gotta admit, she went in on him. When you're going in on people like that,
yep,
there's no mistaking that when
nope.
You're saying things like that. So, and she said that Trump was wrong on the Bill Clinton thing at Epstein Island, which means Trump knows it's wrong too.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
It's just things that they say. But here's one of the things that I hear about her and how she sees the role of chief of staff. Whether she believes in what the president is doing or saying, it's not her job to try to correct him, to try to.
It's just to accomplish whatever the task is.
Or whatever he wants to do.
Right.
Whatever he wants to do. And I disagree with that. I disagree with that vehemently. Your job is to protect him, to be the gatekeeper, to keep people out of the White House who
shouldn't have access to him.
Shouldn't have access to him or don't need access to him.
Yep.
To keep him on the right path. But it's not to make sure he gets everything he wants.
No. But I think
she sees her job that way and she totally disagrees. And I can't do that. It's about integrity at the end of the day.
But that's
you got to, as a chief of staff, you're supposed to tell him what you think, how you feel.
But he's not going to listen. That's the issue. He doesn't listen to anybody.
Yeah.
Not even the people close to him. And that's, at the end of the day, that's the issue with all of this is our Constitution, our government, everything was written and built on the premise that you would have people in these positions that would do what was best, not for one man, not for one person, but for the greater good of America.
That's it.
And when you know, I've said it so many times, and I don't know how you can argue it at this point. I said January 6th was the dry run, and that through that process, Trump and his team, sorry about the dogs, Trump and his team learned the positions that he was going to have loyalists in to accomplish that if the time comes for a second. So
they learned a lot in that first administration.
They sure did. They learned a lot about how to fix where they went wrong.
How to skirt the guardrails.
Yeah.
And how to get rid of the people who understood their oath.
Yep. How many people testified against him? They were literally in his administration.
There were so many, and you had the threats that, you know, I guess it was DOJ that they were going to leave en masse.
Yep.
If he tried, I can't remember what it was that he was trying to do. He was trying to fire somebody. And they were like, no,
it's just
leave.
all insane.
All of us will leave if you do this. So, you know, but that's when he had people still in the government who weren't sycophantic.
Yes.
And, you know, while some people are coming to Susie Wiles' defense, I think, you know, when she shows that she understands that these
it makes
things
them
are
worse.
wrong, the things that he wants are wrong, and he shouldn't be doing them, and he acts like a kid, and
you're enabling
be in the position, but she's going to give it to him anyway and help him accomplish it.
Yep.
It feels sycophantic to me, and it just feels like it lacks integrity.
It's like Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's the same thing. Like I told you that the other episode. What she has shown me, what she has shown me through this is she's not stupid. She knows exactly what she's saying. She knows exactly what she's doing. And she's out there today or yesterday saying, you know, we should stop supporting Trump. We're not in a cult. Yeah. Bitch, you were in a cult for the last fucking 4 or 5 years. Yeah. But the minute the cult turns on you, now all of a sudden.
Now it's a problem.
See, so when you benefited personally from said cult, cults are good. But when the cult pushes you out because you've become a liability, now your cults are bad and you're going to attack the person that you just spread propaganda for the last 4 years.
And like, you know, how many times
kick
have we
rocks,
seen that
buckethead.
Story? How many times have we seen that story told where he turns on, or MAGA turns on their own, they eat their own.
All you got to do is say something negative about Trump, and it's like,
and they'll go.
You're done.
Candace Owens, who, whatever you think about her and that performative bullshit that she had going on.
Yeah, she's definitely
on her.
Yeah.
Over the Kirk thing. Marjorie Taylor Greene is the same way. I mean, people usually tell me out or ask me out on the campaign trail, ask me and tell me and say things that show she's crazy. Is she crazy? Is she an idiot? Is she dumb? No, she knows exactly what she's doing, which makes it worse.
It makes it way worse.
It makes it worse in my book.
So. It totally does. Because if you're doing something, you know, that you're like, I use the word ignorant. Ignorant to me isn't a horrible word. I'm ignorant about things. I say this all the time. I'm so thankful that I found people in the transgender community that gave me a little grace to find my way, you know, to be understanding them, their community, what they deal with, and, you know, just trying to open up my narrow vision of what I had been conditioned to think about trans people.
Getting educated on.
Yeah. So it's like
as simple as that.
I can fix my ignorance, you know, but if you're a stupid ass, very rarely are you going to be able to fix that. Yeah. So do you have the capability to intake information and change your position on it? And if you don't have that capability, then that's not ignorance. You're just stupid. But if you do have that capability, then go read and educate yourself and stop being a stupid ass that just keeps projecting whatever MAGA Trump ridiculousness. Because then you're going to end up like Marjorie Taylor Greene going around on a media tour trying to find new supporters. Good luck with that, Marjorie.
I think she'll have him, though. I think she's trying to play that America first.
She's not going to win enough Democrats.
America first lane. I'm not saying it's going to work, but I think that's what she's doing.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be enough centrists that buy it, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to work, but I think that's where she's trying to find that lane within
She's
MAGA.
Not going to get the kind of support.
She thinks she
nationwide.
sees the fractures there, and there's going to be a lane over here that I can go. And
she wants to take a
in.
jackhammer to him.
The America First side of this MAGA thing. She thinks she can play there, and I think she'll run for president or something like that.
But like we said the other show, I don't think she can't get the kind of support nationwide that she got in that district.
No, I mean, hey, there's not enough of those people who believe that way.
And all of her past stuff, like
even within MAGA.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you have the kind of video saying the most reprehensible stuff that she has, it's going to be hard for her to completely rebrand. Like I said, good luck, but that's going to be tough. Speaking of rebranding, as much as Trump would like to rebrand himself as not being in the Epstein files, that was another thing that his chief of staff confirmed, that, like you said earlier, Bill Clinton never went to the island. He was wrong about that, but Trump's definitely in there.
He's definitely in there. He's definitely in there. And they know that. They know that. Pam Bondi knows it.
The social media influencers know it.
They all know it. And that's why you're going to start seeing, when it's time for these files to come out, stuff's going to be gone. They're going to say, we can't release this because it's being investigated.
Just like that video we just saw from Hegseth. It's under investigation. It's classified. It's
those investigations are going to run for years and years.
Until Trump's in the ground. Then magically they'll all come out.
Yeah.
Mark my words. The day Trump's gone, that's when we'll see everything.
Republicans know they're going to lose the House in November. They're probably not going to lose the Senate.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to lose the Senate, unfortunately. I
So,
hope I'm wrong. Hope we're wrong.
Yeah, the math.
The math ain't mathing from where I'm sitting either.
In my life, but the math's just not right for this.
No, I agree on the Senate. And I do think that we're in for a little bit more of a fight in the House than we'd hoped for. You know, I think a lot of us wished that pendulum swing was going to be a lot more, but
larger.
Yeah, I think we need to plan on it being a fight. You know, so
it's definitely gonna. I mean,
yeah.
Take nothing for granted.
Yep.
I mean, Democrats.
We're gonna have to earn every inch, man. We're gonna have to earn every inch.
We're still gonna have to get better on messaging. We're still gonna have to get better on taking the issues and talking to people about what it is that they're feeling.
Yes. I'm working on an event.
We're getting some help, in places like Indiana where you wouldn't expect that help, where some Republicans are pushing back and saying, no, we're not going to gerrymander our maps like you want us to. So
thank God.
That's a little bit good. Texas is probably not going to get the 5 seats that they're hoping for, but hey,
Well, like I said, you set that precedent in one state, and the Supreme Court lets it slide in one state, then you open it up to the Democrat states too. So, again, like you just said, though, the Democrats got to want to play ball. So, then the question becomes, do we have enough Democrat governors that will do it? So,
that's a grind when you get into that fight.
It is, like I said, I'm not, not pointing fingers or saying anything negative. It's just, that's what will be required. Yeah.
I'm all about Democrats fighting back, playing hardball, taking off the kid gloves and going for it. That's why
I fight dirty, man.
What, guys like Newsom and Pritzker, are doing, and Maryland Governor Wes Moore. Hey, fight.
Yep.
Go for it. Play the game.
The Newsom stuff just really ticks him off, which just tickles me in all the right places. But speaking of all the wrong places, Mike Johnson seems to keep finding himself in really precarious situations in his job, doesn't he?
He does. Indeed.
You liked that lead in, didn't you?
I loved it.
I got him with the lead in.
Magic Mike Johnson.
Oh, man. So Mike Johnson says he will not call a vote to extend the Affordable Care Act subsidies.
No surprises there, but come on.
So, you know what really upsets me, though, is how fast they are able to operate and pass legislations and sign executive orders when, somebody's murdered on a subway by, somebody that's not white or whatever reason or person they find. But when it comes to kids being gunned down in school, bad things happen. Like, I'm sick of hearing that. And then on top of it, you want to say you're pro-life, but you're sitting here making healthcare costs double what it is right now. Like, that's not a hyperbole joke. Go read up on it. Economists are saying how bad this is going to be for our economy because of you take all that money out of households and require it to go into healthcare. That means it's not going to things like gas, food, and whatever else is required. So while prices of goods are skyrocketing, now healthcare is going to double. And instead of the people that we've all elected to do something about it, they're sending $20 billion over to other countries to help their economy and expecting us to not only pick up that tab, but to pay more for our health insurance. So that's not pro-life. And I'll top it off with this little cherry. Going back to the beginning of the show, if we're going to have kids, or, I call him a kid, but he was an adult, but you're going to have kids killing their parents because they've got addiction issues and mental health issues. Hey, I got news for you. You know what you can not do if you don't have health insurance? You can't usually go get help. You usually can't go get therapy. You usually can't go get addiction assistance. So you guys want to say it's not the guns, that guns aren't the problem, people are. Well, if the people are the problem, why should we give them a fucking gun?
Well, you got places like here in Georgia where, hey, you don't have the facilities anyway, especially in the rural areas.
Or the medical providers.
Or the providers, because they've shut down so many mental health facilities here in Georgia in the last decade.
Yep.
People can't go and get that help that they need anyway.
It took me 6 months to get in at the VA.
You got to travel all the way to Atlanta. I mean, Georgia's a big state.
Yeah, it is.
It's a big state.
Yep.
And
I got something.
You live in the very north or the very south of the state. It ain't that easy to get to Atlanta.
No.
To get help that you need.
And if you're having mental health issues and addiction issues, you're also going to have a hard time probably getting in the car and driving yourself there. But
absolutely.
Hey. I will say
a little off the subject, but
a little bit.
The fact that this isn't us making this stuff up.
No. Or making light of it.
Analysts are saying that healthcare costs are going to more than double.
And they were already high.
In the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. And they were already ridiculous.
You know what guys like Trump say about it? Oh, well, you know what? When it comes to affordability and stuff like that, it's a hoax.
Yeah. And we don't have to buy our kids $37 for Christmas.
You don't have to buy your kids who buys $37? And it just tells you how disconnected from reality and the real world that this guy truly is.
He ain't been in a grocery store in 30 years.
Yeah. So,
and I'm starting to think he doesn't know how to count, man, because the economic job report revealed that unemployment has hit a 4-year high of 4.6%.
Yep.
Now, you want to know what I found a little interesting about that, Marcus? Is that I just happened to be surfing Twitter, and I saw it was Department of Energy? It was some tweet from an official account, and they were bragging about how many federal jobs have been cut, that we now have the lowest federal workforce like in history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you fucking fired everybody and you sent and Marcus, you're going to vouch for this. Let me explain something to y'all real quick. When you get rid of a legacy position, okay? Legacy position is a government/military position because it's legacy because if they continue up the food chain, they are going to get a retirement. And also, and I fall in this category, if you do 4 years but you injure yourself while you're in the military, they are now liable for your injuries that you acquired while you were on the job. Okay. Now, if you're in a union on the outside, you might get those things.
The government has unions too, which they just won a deal about that to keep their unions or bring them back. So
yep. So, but when they get rid of these legacy positions, they have to replace them. And the reason they get rid of the legacy positions is because they cost a lot of money long term. Now, instead of that, the government goes out and says, Marcus, could you provide me 12 people for the next 365 days at $150 an hour to work on aircraft? And Marcus says, yep, I got a team of people. I can have them ready in 3 weeks. I'll have the contract done up and ready for the approval. It gets run up, approved by Congress, whoever, whatever. Boop, you've got a new federal contract. Mm-hmm. Now, if you aren't a moral, principled person, like the people that we have in running our government, you might call up a friend and say, hey, Marcus, why don't you put this contract together? And if you happen to come in around, $5 million, that contract might get approved. Click.
That's corruption.
So this is what we're seeing happen in real time. For those 300,000 federal jobs that have been cut, there's going to be a massive shift to contracting. And I can give you a real life example. Here in Tucson, Arizona, we have Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. I was lucky to get one job posting a year that I would qualify for as a contractor. Now there's about 20. And the reason is because they're moving operations to Davis-Monthan. And if you go see what Davis-Monthan has, then you might start connecting some dots. Okay?
No,
this is a problem.
I don't want to get into like the colors of money and all of that.
Yeah, no.
Defense financing and stuff like that.
Yeah, we only got 9
minutes. I'll say it in a real simple way so that people can kind of get it. You cut all of these jobs from defense, from state, from DOE, from Department of Education, from all of these different agencies, CDC, yet the budget is still the same.
Yep.
So what Ryan was alluding to there.
Great point.
You got rid of all these jobs that were, Ryan calls them legacy positions. We call them something different inside the government. I'm not going to get into that either.
That's why I call it what it is.
Legacy works. You get rid of that, but then you have to pay a contractor.
Yep.
And they typically charge more. So.
Yep. But what they like is they like that they can cut bait anytime they want, and they don't have to keep those people. Like there's a lot of benefits for the military doing contracting, but it doesn't usually benefit the people. And for those of you who've been in contract, then contracting versus the federal side. Once you're a federal worker and you start getting up into like G8, G10, kind of positions, it becomes kind of hard to fire you.
15.
Yeah, but when you're a contractor, I've walked in on a Wednesday and been told that my last day is a Friday.
Yeah. It's different.
It's just different. They treat you like you're disposable, and that's basically what contracting is. Yeah. So
you can't just fire a permanent government employee without.
Nope, not without paper trail and lots of issues.
It takes a lot.
So I don't even want to talk too much about this, but Trump is still pushing this 2020 election nonsense. I bet you $100 he's going to talk about it tonight at his
of course.
pep rally he's doing.
And you think he'd let it go now that he's back in office?
You're president now. You're president in 2024. Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit?
And by the way, it's unfortunate for Trump because data and graphs literally show that Biden started correcting everything, and then Trump took back over, and now everything's going out of control again.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's right there in a graph. But now, the amount of pardons this dude has done in 10, 11 months is insane. The people that he's pardoning, January 6th people, fake electors here in Arizona. But this one was interesting. So he is pardoning the election clerk. What's her name?
Tina Peters.
Thank you, Tina Peters.
She was you guys' guy out or girl out there who she was just completely off the.
And the video, her arrest video was like, yeah.
Well, she was too good to be arrested, so
Here's the part I found really funny. All the MAGA Trump people took in and started celebrating, saying that she was getting out of jail. There's a problem. A lot of MAGA people and Trump voters don't seem to know the difference between a federal pardon and a state pardon. See, Tina Peters needs a pardon from the governor of her state. She doesn't need one from Trump.
Can't pardon state crimes. Presidents can only pardon federal crimes.
And you people are allowed to vote? You don't even know that. You don't know the branches of the government. Like,
oh man,
Jesus.
That kills me when I run across
Lord help
people
us.
who don't understand.
And
the
so
simplest civics things that I'm
telling you, I'm really, Trump has made me become a supporter of taking tests before you're allowed to vote. Like you need to be able to at least tell me what the 3 branches of fucking government are before you are allowed to go in there.
Oh man. It's
like
sad
there needs
a
to
lot of people don't know that.
You know what I'm saying? Like there needs to be some simple questions. Like, do you understand what you're doing here? Like, oh my God. So speaking of not understanding things, I don't think Trump actually understands what the hell AI is. He sure as hell doesn't understand what 5G is, because when they announced 6G last week, he said that he had a lot to do with the 5G thing, and then revealed that he thinks 5G is a camera. I'm not talking to you, Siri. But so Trump is now suing BBC for what is it, billion or something like that?
Several billion.
2 billion. He's suing them for taking a video and cutting it a certain way to make it seem like he sent people to the Capitol on January 6th. As if we all didn't watch it live and hear what he said and watch him go into his limo and start getting pissed off because the Secret Service wouldn't take him to the Capitol. Like all that stuff didn't happen. Okay. So, yeah, this is just another frivolous lawsuit, and it's meant to intimidate, and it's meant to shore up money with these they're not going to take it to court. I highly doubt they will. So they'll settle with Trump for some stupid amount of money and an apology, which is ridiculous because at the same time he signed an executive order saying the states can't regulate AI in any way, shape, or form. So it's like, okay, so you don't want AI and videos edited to make you look bad, but it's completely okay for AI to do that shit to me and everybody else. So, but since I don't have the resources to sue you for $2 billion, I just have to sit here and take it while the rich people all get to play and clutch their pearls. Got it.
Well, I hope BBC doesn't settle this out of court. Or
from a business standpoint, they will.
Don't bend. I mean,
they don't want. They don't want the publicity.
Trump's the most litigious president in the history of our country.
If he didn't have lawyers, he would be homeless.
Yeah, he would.
So, speaking of homeless, there's a lot of people that aren't going to be allowed to travel to the United States now. Donald Trump is using the National Guardsman that was killed in D.C. as his lighthouse for restricting the passports that are able to travel into the country. Marcus and I were going through some of these. We had a few questions of where these places might be, and turns out they were places like Angola and Cuba and Dominica and Zambia, Zimbabwe, Tonga, Nigeria. Those all sound...
So what's the through line there?
Yeah. I don't think people of my complexion would fare too well in those countries.
There's a through line.
Yeah.
Put my finger on it.
Sierra Leone, Somalia, South Sudan, Syria, Yemen, Laos, Afghanistan, Burma, Chad, Haiti, Iran. Yeah.
Maybe Susie Wiles should have disclosed that in her Vanity Fair.
That's going to be the next interview.
Trump doesn't want black or brown people coming into the country.
Yeah, while only letting white South Africans in, by the way, and then claiming that we're the ones importing borders. Yeah. So, oh God. Oh, and then
what was it, Sweden or Norway that he said he wanted? Sweden.
More Swedes.
We need more Swedes.
God, again, had Obama said some shit like that, we need more Muslims here. Can we get some more Muslims?
Oh man, they would have
lost their shit
for that.
I wish he would have just done it.
That's basically what Trump's saying.
It's exactly what he's doing.
More white people and no
more. We need more. And again, go look at Elon Musk's Twitter page. It is literally nothing but white power fear mongering.
That's it.
That's all it is. And the kicker is all those passports that he is not allowing in, even if you are allowed in, he wants any foreign tourist to provide a 5-year social media history before they're permitted into the country. And when they said this, it was specifically said that they need to check for any anti-Trump posts.
Yeah, I think that.
You know, I'm trying to think of the word for that. What's that called, Marcus?
Narcissism. I'm trying to think. Let me tell you. He is. I mean, Susie Wiles said it basically. She's saying this guy's a narcissist.
Oh, yeah. With the drug problem.
Full stop. You know. Yeah. Not only is he delusional.
Yeah, very delusional.
But he's dementia.
He's dangerous
in a little bit too. Yeah, dangerous. I mean, he was dangerous the moment he walked down the escalator.
Yeah, you're not right. You're not wrong about that. But
New Yorkers and everybody said, you don't want this guy as president. Are you kidding me?
He
didn't have a chance, but
I know you'll remember this. But for those of you who may be a little younger, Ronald Reagan, which we didn't know at the time, but Ronald Reagan was dealing with dementia. And turns out that in his last 4 years, that he started struggling, and especially the last year. And what happened was everybody covered for him, including his wife, the administration, the White House, people that would have meetings with him, and he would have an episode. NDAs were signed. My fear is, as bad as that was with Reagan, at least with him, I feel comfortable saying he wasn't a hateful person. I may have disagreed with him on some things, but I don't think he was a hateful person at the end of the day. And covering for somebody like that, as bad as it is, imagine them covering for somebody like Donald Trump and somebody like him having dementia and having nothing but loyalists around him, people that are controlling his dementia, managing his dementia while simultaneously being scared of him and what he might do.
It's
that's dangerous.
What's eventually it's going to come out. Everything that was being hid. I mean, there'll be some tell-all books. This and that was going on in the White House, and it's all going to come out.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not shocked by a whole lot from this administration. Actually, I'm not shocked by anything in this administration.
I'm shocked by what they get away with.
Yeah, well,
that's what I'm shocked by.
Yeah,
I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked they're doing it, and I'm not shocked.
You got an activist court, Supreme Court. Yeah, that became apparent.
Again, that's what happens when you let felons appoint Supreme Court justices. Should never have been allowed.
There you go.
But speaking of courts, it's not all bad news, brother. So Indiana Republicans rejected a Trump-requested election map, which could have flipped both Democrat-held seats in Congress.
Yeah.
So that's a positive because, like you said, whether Texas gets away with what they're doing, we're seeing some pushback here by Republicans in Indiana. So hopefully this is a good sign of things to come. But what I really liked and what we'll cap today's episode off with is, for the second time, a grand jury in Virginia has refused to indict New York Attorney General Letitia James. They have tried going after
the
this
first time, but
I think most people knew it probably wasn't going to stick, but you never know. With Trump judges being sprinkled in everywhere, who knows? But for me personally, this is such a win because she has been in the forefront of this fight and taken a lot of the flack for us.
Fearlessly,
not backing down, letting them take her, let them take it to a grand jury and just letting the process take out because she knew at the end of the day she didn't do anything wrong.
Absolutely.
So, I'm so thankful for her. I'm thankful for, the people like Jasmine Crockett and AOC that I see out there, taking them on the chin day after day, and they still show up to work the next morning. And as an American, I just appreciate the hell out of that. I'm glad the court saw that it was a frivolous attack on her brought on by the Trump administration. Isn't it funny that it's the Trump administration that's actually, doing all the political persecution and charges?
That's it, brother. I mean, that's when they're going on and on about, oh, the Democrats are doing that, Biden's doing this, and political persecution is that, political persecution, this, that, and the other. And look who's doing all that. Biden did none of this stuff.
No.
None of this stuff. He stayed out of it.
Or Obama.
Or Obama.
Think about some of the things Obama could have done. In Obama's last year, he could have pushed Merrick Garland through. He could have pushed him onto the court, but he decided not to because he didn't want to play ball that way.
Well,
now we can argue if he should have or shouldn't have, and if Garland, would have been a good justice.
We look at what Mitch McConnell did as soon as he had the opportunity.
I was pissed. I was like, I wish
2 weeks.
That was one thing I thought I wished Obama had done because he didn't have another election to run. Fuck it, push him through.
Yeah. So
that was where I was with it. But, like I said, there's always going to be things that you're going to disagree with about somebody you support, and that's okay. Politics isn't about purity. It's about getting the mission accomplished and putting the right people in the positions to get that done. And again, that's part of what we want to do here on this show. I'm putting together a get-together for a senator here in Arizona. We're going to do like a brunch thing, so looking forward to that and sharing that with you after the fact because I don't want anybody going after them before it's done. And we got 2 guests lined up for January on here, so I look forward to that. What is it? Bernard Hopkins, right? And so we got Bernard Hopkins, and then Chris Fowler, I think, is running out of Oklahoma. I served with Chris, so really look forward to those conversations and just keep y'all posted. So we will not be back until January, I believe it's January 8th. So we won't be here Christmas Eve. We won't be here New Year's Eve. And then we'll be back the next week. So look, here's what I'm going to ask. January 7th, sorry. Here's what I'm going to ask of y'all. Unplug a little bit. There's a lot going on. And we're all intaking this information every day, however much it is, and it's a lot of negative stuff. Look, so these are the holidays. If you're into the holidays, spend them with family. Spend it doing something you enjoy. Tune out and watch something on, one of the streaming services that we aren't trying to to bankrupt at the moment. Get some DVDs. There you go.
Decompress.
But no, yeah, we all need that because coming January, it's going to be midterm push for the next 11 months. So get that rest, enjoy your family, your friends, your dogs, your cats, whatever, your snakes. And we hope to see you back here in January, reinvigorated and ready to fight with us. And we look forward to bringing you some really good candidates that are coming up in the Democratic ranks that we need in this fight.
Absolutely.
So, brother, you got anything?
As always, Godspeed, everybody. Take care of one another. Do decompress over the holidays. I mean, we all need it. I know there's so much craziness going on. Every day it's something new that's bad. But take time to think about what is really important to you, and that's family. So,
yep. And sometimes your family is those you choose. to be your family too. So
that's true.
Yep. Thank you for everybody tuning in this year and helping us get this show up and off the ground. And make sure you subscribe, whatever platform you're on, and make sure you go follow Hold the Line PAC, which is Marcus's political committee that he's helping candidates. So, we keep talking about the fight. That's one of the ways we got to do it. We got to fund the candidates. We got to endorse the candidates. We got to do the work. And that's part of what his PAC is doing. So with that, and also please send us guest suggestions. If you've got a candidate in your local area that you want to have a bigger platform, send us the name. We would love reaching out to them and see if we can get them on. And but with that, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah. We love you all, and stay safe. Much love. Keep fighting. We'll see you in January.
God bless.